Oh jeez, it's gonna get really hot around here in this particular desert, or the actual Pyramid Park itself. But I'm sure we'll cope with the heat wave in the actual board itself, despite the fact that in the UK country, it is still rather cold outside because it was still winter. So, hey, what's up everyone? It is I am the one and only Ray the Flying Squirrel here, and I am back for yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Mario Party 7 for the Nintendo GameCube. So last weekend is the fact that we actually did manage to win through the second board in the entire game, known as Begonia Pig, and my god, what I've heard about the forms of that board that we went through, that is by far the longest board run through I've ever done, ranging from almost 2 hours of that particular board itself, like 2 parts combined. Oh jeez, that is really overstayed a welcome. But hopefully, for this particular weekend, and that is the fact that things get a bit chilled every now and then. Like as you can see, that the board we're going to be focusing on next, for the sake of this weekend, as you can see, here we are on to the third board in Mario Party 7, which appears to be Pyramid Park. And I think this entire board is actually based off from Egypt, for the sake of the country. Just because you can able to definitely tell what the actual aesthetics about the board is almost like a desert of any sorts. So, yeah, anyway, without further ado, after able to skip the entire dialogue sequence for Bowser sending some more mini Bowser orb system and stuff like that. So, yeah, here we are in Pyramid Park, and as you can tell, from the actual objective in this board, you know, very similar to the forms of how it does it in Snowflake Lake board from the likes of Mario Party 6. That, as you can tell, the main emphasis on this board, as you can see on screen, that everyone else, including myself, actually got 5 stars each. So, because as you can see on screen, I'm going to be using Luigi in this board. Why? Because why not? So anyway, as I said, that we have 5 stars each, and as you can see, we have some of these chain jump houses. And basically, in order able to get stars from anyone else, is that once again we have to steal them back. So because of that though, it is very similar to Snowflake Lake, so except the fact that with no day and night system. So yeah, there is 3 houses over there, and there's also the castle on the left side of the actual board. And basically, this is actually the red chain jump house. And basically, every single house is this time managed to cost about 10 coins as opposed to 20 coins, just 20 coins from the likes of, wow. For example, in Mario Party 6, actually I'll get to more now in a second, here's some happening spaces like this one over there. They have to collect coins while swimming and avoiding those crocodiles in the process, and also another few happening spaces in either the left side and the right side of a board. Basically, it just teleports you or transports you to a different side of a board. And there's also another happening space over there, which I'm not exactly sure what that does, because, well, I'll explain more details about that later. And as well as another happening space onto that Spanx over there, which I'm not exactly sure what that does either. Mainly because out of all the actual boards in Mario Party 7, sadly though, this is my least favorite board in Mario Party 7. Mainly because, although the actual board design is actually way more interesting than the forms of how it does it on Snowflake Lake to me. Mainly because of how the fact that the events are way more engaging throughout. And also is the fact that there's a lot of Egyptian vibes to it. But aside from that, I'm not a big fan of the actual mechanic of the board. And right off the bat, we got our first battle minigame already for the likes of Pyramid Park, and oh, good grief. We got all of our coins taken. Ah, that's a good start. So anyway, oh yeah, that's that minigame we have not played yet, and somehow everyone else picks deck hands over the likes of air farce. So fine, I'll go for deck hands anyway, so we'll just get that minigame done and over with. God knows if I was able to be lucky enough, unlike last time, that I somehow managed to get extremely lucky for that part, but we'll see. So, yeah, today's day is, of course, the 15th of January today, in this case in 2022 today. So, naturally speaking, I think we've almost there to the halfway point on the likes of, well, generally speaking, that I'm pretty sure we're on the halfway point already, technically speaking, from the likes of January already. before we move on to the next month, which appears to be February. So, yeah, things get pretty dang close for the sake of likely for months to end. So, but aside from all that stuff, though, is the fact that, well, relatively speaking, it's just the fact that I would like to mention about more discussions I were able to point things out. Actually, I'll get to more in a second, because I'm going to pick that card and obtain a 10. Pretty swell stuff, I have to say, for that first card I picked. So, unlike the others, though, well, except Yoshi, did have a good start. But unfortunately for both Boo and Daisy of any sort, basically they don't got themselves a good amount of card number. So yeah, they've gone to a pretty rough second run, or the second round rather. So it looks like Yoshi's gonna pick the card on the far left, and he gets a 4. And let's see what card I'm gonna get for my turn. Oh, 11. So it's like I've got 10 and 11. I mean, what's next? I might as well get 12 on the final round. I mean, that will be kind of cool and interesting if I'm able to actually pick the actual number cards in the actual order. Like, relatively speaking, that might be seems the case. But we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, so Boo gets an 8 to finish off with. So I'm thinking that Boo might be in 3rd place, and I believe Yoshi might as well get himself into 2nd place. So yeah, he was obviously in 2nd place, so I basically won anyway. So, well, look at that, I got 12. Jeez, the actual number order. So I'm guessing the only card that's not picked out for this particular deck hands minigame is 13 card. So, no one actually decided to bring that out, because obviously with those cards are pretty much randomized, you know, so. Anyway, it's a good thing I did manage to win that minigame again, so kudos to my luck. So, anyway, I suppose I should probably explain about this while this is going. Though I suppose that Maxi has forgot to mention about this either, for the sake of the another negative thing when it comes to 2021, back in the day that is the fact that there's one particular game that does manage to disappoint a lot of people, and especially noticeable that he finds himself not getting a game. That's what appears to be Balan Wonderworld, which I will say, that was by far the worst game in the entire 2021 year. So yeah, I just want to classify that. So yeah, as you can see on screen that we actually have an option to choose either 1 dice block or 2 dice blocks. So as you can tell, I'm selecting the 2 dice blocks, so meaning about the fact I can able to get enough movements to able to actually have the ability to able to actually squish anyone else by getting a star itself. I think no matter what though, I'm gonna go for a dual minigame, so, because we have not played any other dual minigames for quite some time. Actually, no way, let's go this way. Because I've decided to change my mind, because I'm gonna have to land on that happening space, so just in case I don't get squished by any other players, just change up, so hopefully I should be safe from here. So, yeah, I suppose that's pretty much about it. Oh, and another thing is the fact that with this particular board itself, there's actually an exclusive item you can get by, obviously either discovered that from the shop or the actual, the orbs, bypassing spot, which, we'll point out when, someone else come across into it. Actually, does Daisy actually got that item? I don't know, I wasn't paying attention to it, I'm sorry, mainly because I somehow get distracted by other things to discuss, and somehow we're going back to Sphere Factor again. Hi, but this time I'm going to be teaming up with Daisy, so speaking of the opponents this time around though, is the fact that in addition to able to play as Luigi, I'm also going to be able to select these computer players, which are Daisy, Boo, and Yoshi, because those are the only players has not seen in action yet, so. And by that time, until whenever we get into the 4th board and the 5th board, I'm actually going to do slightly different for a change when it comes to player selection. That's, well, I'm also able to tell you guys, stay tuned specifically until next weekend, even though it might be a bit too early to discuss at this rate. That's only because I was expecting that, again, I would like to appreciate it to able to actually mention about other things as well, but it's just the fact the matter is, though, is there's not much else to discuss, unfortunately. Well, apart from the fact that I've already mentioned some brief info for the sake of Pyramid Park as the board itself, which, as a result, though, that might be seems the case. So, talking of which, when it comes to the actual board itself, there's actually the forms of, well, I've already mentioned about the forms of the solo cruise rules for the sake of the forms of Grand Canal and Begolia Peak from the past. So, for the sake of the forms of today's discussion, I would like to discuss, that is the fact that if you ever played the solo cruise version of Pyramid Park, the actual objective kind of feels like the same, except that the ultimate goal it is, for the sake of time, is that you got to able to get the star from the likes of that bandit to manage to able to steal it from the Spanx. And all you have to do is basically you have to get the star back from the likes of the bandit character, the NPC character, and basically when you get the star, it's your chance to able to make your way back to the Spanx, and if you do that, then basically you're able to win. So, yeah, that's basically how this goes. And as you can see, Daisy has managed to got herself a familiar item ever since in both Mario Party 5 and Mario Party 6. That's what appears to be the snack orb, or technically speaking in Mario Party 5, it calls it like a bone capsule, or a snack capsule, I have no idea. And in Mario Party 6, it just calls it like a snack orb. And basically it functions the same thing as the forms of how it does it on the previous two games. That's, basically, if you manage to have yourselves a bone item, basically it actually protects you from any chain chomps. However, here's the biggest difference is this time around, is that as you notice, on the snack orb, color is actually now green as opposed to light blue. Because it's pretty obvious of why. It's because obviously the light blue color orbs are actually represented with characters' specific orbs this time around, and that's pretty much the reason why they decided able to change the actual the color orb for the likes of that item for the snack orb. And also it's the fact that rather than using it automatically, if you somehow manage to able to let the chain chomp get to you and all that stuff. So in order to able to use the snack orb this time around is that you can use it by yourself. And yeah, that's actually interesting, especially noticeable how the fact that they did manage to make that thing change up a little bit, especially about the fact that you can able to actually just you know, try to able to actually just well, it might be hard to explain, because another thing I want to discuss upon is the fact that I do apologize about the fact that my commentary gets a bit slightly nuffled up at points, especially because I've almost gonna get myself a bit of a swallow down to the wrong hole syndrome or something like that. Like every time I speak, or had loads to drink and stuff like that, although mind you, it's not exactly hot yet until at some point on April or May or June or July for that matter. So anyway, let's see if I can get ourselves a good roll to able to close enough. But regardless of such, actually no matter what though, I think I might as well go for a dual minigame because, well, since that we have not seen that much of dual minigames for such a long while. So I'm gonna duel against with Daisy because I'm gonna stop her for able to meet up with that red chain chomp from that particular house itself. So hopefully that should be the case here. Alright, let's see what minigame are we playing next. Give me a sign. Alright, a new minigame we are playing. This is kind of a fun one. When Shy Guy holds up a card, the board with that design will sink. Don't be on it when it does. So basically we need to able to be the last one surviving, and basically that's what you have to do. Think of like a combination of Shy Guy sets from both Mario Party 1 and 2, and say applies to the top 100 and Superstars as well if you want to count that. But also similar to the forms of I would classify for saying Mushroom Mix-Up and Hexagon Heat for both Mario Party 1 and 2, and the top 100 and Superstars if you want to count those as well. So basically you don't able to actually get into the water like what Daisy just did. And because of that, if you ended up in the water, you lose instantly. So yeah, that might be something worth noting for. Alright, let's see what rewards I can get. Oh boy, all the coins. Thank you. At least it's nothing like the Red Cross. When I swear to Christ, I always seem to able to get nothing at all for that particular slot of stupendous and stuff like that. So, anyway, Yoshi gets a pretty low roll, which is 2. I will say, the music in this board is actually pretty catchy, I'm not gonna lie. Especially noticeable. Are you for real? Another battle game! Oh jeez, that happened in the beginning portion of the board. Oh jeez, Louise. But this time we're gonna be bet on, I would say 10 coins battle game. So, since those players managed to pick an even between the final countdown and Heli Popper, so I'll go for the final countdown, which forces everyone else, including myself, playing an unseen minigame, Air Force. Drop yourself into the hang glider and fly as far as possible. This minigame can be pretty tricky at times, especially noticeable you have to get a lot of adjustment to your angle. So, yeah, you got to be able to adjust your angle, and that's pretty much about it. And I believe my new record on this one is 93.31 meters, so hopefully I'll try my best here. Although computer players might do absolute idiots on this minigame though, because, well, I'm pretty sure they've always almost at the 50-meter mark. Well, between Yoshi and Daisy there are, except Boo. But I still managed to win regardless of such. Because what if first time I played that minigame, I always found this minigame kind of a struggle to play. But the more I play it, the more I'm grown older, then I'm pretty much used to with this, so. But it's a good thing that the practice thing comes into play until you're able to have some struggles playing the minigame, so. Because unlike the forms of how it does it on Mario Party Advance, they somehow took out the actual practice option, which it doesn't make that much sense to me, because, well, relatively speaking, it's just the fact that, well, for those of you all the newcomers who ever experienced the minigames for the first time, then they can obviously practice it first, and then experience the minigame proper, so it's like, I have no words to say. So anyways, Boo gets the Spear Guy Orb, and he can't buy anything because he doesn't have that much coins, so. Alright, let's see if I can meet up with the red chain jump, and I think I've got enough to able to meet up with him. So basically, if you meet up with the red chain jump, you can able to actually pay 10 coins, which allows you to able to have not 1, not 2, but 3 dice blocks. So, yeah, I guess that makes it pretty obvious of why, in this particular side of the board, actually offers us to able to have 3 dice blocks as opposed to the usual 2, because obviously, I think on the right side of the board, basically it has a lot of chain jump houses, whilst on the left, doesn't have that much chain jump houses. All it gets is just basically it's like a castle of the chain jump house, and that's pretty much about it. So, I guess that makes a bit sense, so. Alright, so Yoshi gets a 5, so which way is he gonna go? He's gonna go to the left. And of course the mini Bowser Orb, so, oh no way. I think something bad will happen. Ah, he's gonna place it. Ah, Yoshi's gonna land on it. Okay. I'm hoping that something will not screw me up right there. If it does, though, I will be really ticked off from that. Alright, let's see what he's gonna do. Ah! It's just the actual Bowser Revolutions type. That's just great. I lost all my coins. Oh well, I'll get more eventually. Don't worry. Alright, 2 versus 2 minigame again, and we are dealing with Tile and Error. Seems like a cool minigame to able to play through. Ground pound the panels to flip over your team's color. So basically, we have to ground pound as many tiles as you can, and then basically, the more you ground pound them, then whoever gets the most tiles at the end is the winner. So, this minigame does remind me of the minigame from Mario Party the top... No, not the top 100. Mario Party Island Tour called Claiming the Cube. Basically, we have to do the actual ground pounding the actual thing, except it doesn't... What the hell? Boo! Why did you knock away? I was your team! Oh! Oh, jeez. I have no words to say. I just have no idea what just happened. Boo just somehow punched me, and then I fell off in the process. Like, he just knocked me off. Oh, jeez. I think no matter what, though, this happens on the same thing that happened where in the Runaway Guys playthrough on Mario Party 7, if you want to check it out, basically what happens is that it happens on the exact same minigame, Trial and Error, and basically what happens is that Proto John did manage to got knocked out by his teammate Mario. So, yeah, I have no idea why the AI has become a little bit more stingy sometimes. I found that unbelievable whenever I come across that. Oh, jeez. But regardless, we still won no matter what, so... Oh, jeez. But anyway, Boo's gonna able to get rid of the mini Bowser space, so just in case he doesn't get screwed. Alright, Boo gets a 4, so I guess that makes it obvious, and it lands on the red space. And I will get an 8, seems like a good number to have. Oh, wait a second, am I gonna land on... I could go up there, but the thing is, I'm gonna have to duel against with someone, so I'm gonna go here, and... Oh, I got myself a Fireball Orb, so I might as well use that eventually. So, while at it though, we'll try to hop onto the another side of the board, while Yoshi decides to able to join in as well, so we can able to expect that. But man, I can't even believe that happened right there for Trial and Error minigame. Like, I somehow got pushed off from my teammate. Like, it's supposed to be teamwork, not just... Ah, jeez. Anyway, yeah, but that particular minigame of Trial and Error, by the way, like I said, it does remind me of the minigame from Mario Party Island Tour, where basically, though, that, you're able to ground pound tiles, and that's pretty much about it. Alright, 1 versus 3 games, so let's see, are we going to be playing next? And we are going back to easy pickings again. Actually, kind of thinking about it, that usually, I think the only board that the Runaway Guys did manage to come across into that the teammate shove over or push off someone in Trial and Error was actually in Grand Canal, by the way, so... But jeez, I found it very unbelievable though with teammates sometimes. But anyway, let's just go ahead and dig some more rocks to able to destroy, and well, we can just simply just go ahead and well, do the usual bit. So it looks like so far so good anyway, especially noticeable if we're able to have some very good luck situation for, you know, getting more jewels than last time we played this, because most of the time that the solo player gets like very lucky sometimes. But now we won this time around, so I guess that's fine by me. And I believe we get ourselves the Bowser Time event for Pyramid Park, so like we're still able to come across into well, the souvenir picture at some point, or the shop replacement, and even there are some other 2 exclusive events, like I believe this one is the exclusive example. That is, if someone is in first place, you'll try to steal a star from you, and basically that since I'm in first right now, so this means Bowser just somehow squished me and steal my star in the process. So yeah, you don't want to be in first place at all times though sometimes, especially when this event comes into play. So, and what happens is, Bowser will give Mini Bowser a star, which, come and think about it, it does remind me of a little bit from the likes of Mario Party 5 and Mario Party 6, when Mini Bowser gets the actual, the star itself, except no victory fanfare, because obviously Mini Bowser is now working on the bad side, so... And all the while Mini Bowser gets the star, he'll go into some different space somewhere else. So it's up to you to able to ride on a chain jump in order to get the star back. So, which kind of feels like a similar thing on the Solo Cruise version, except basically you trying to stop the bandit in order to be able to get the star and stuff like that. Even though despite the fact that it's been, I'm not gonna lie, donkey's years since actually last time I played Solo Cruise mode, mainly because, well, I usually only play it for one time, and just trying to able to unlock the final board in the game, Bowser's Enchanted Inferno, but that again, I'll explain more details about that whenever we get to the extra stuff. Alright, so meanwhile, Boo's gonna duel against with Yoshi for some reason. And at first I thought they're gonna able to duel against with me, but apparently it doesn't. And it looks like they are playing Spin Doctor. Even though we've already seen this minigame before, ever since in, well, Begonia Peak. So, except this time around, we'll watch the computer players that are able to go into this minigame, so... Alright, let's see whoever wins this. It could be either be Boo or Yoshi. Well, we'll see what happens. I think it's actually quite rare to able to actually get the star this time around for the dual system this time around though, because again, it's all about the forms of like a combination of well, let's just say like a chance time version of the forms of Mario Party 7 basically, with the slot of Stupendous and stuff like that. So I'm guessing that might be seems the case. Like, I think I already mentioned about that. Ever since in Begonia Peak playthrough, or that Begonia Peak longest run through because of, jeez, 2 hours of runtime. Jeez, because so many events is happening, and of course you can't skip the actual going back down syndrome or something like that, which, although eventually whenever we get into Mario Party 8, that I'm sure there's a way to make the actual process a bit faster and stuff like that, but then again, we'll point it out at some point in this spring. So it looks like Boo somehow managed to win that. So I wonder what rewards does Boo might as well get. And he's gonna get half of his coins. So yeah, that's basically how this goes. So yeah, he somehow got like 14 coins from it, so I think that might be okay from his part. Let me double check on the map. I think everyone else is almost at the left side of the board. So I think I'm also able to go ahead and use my no, I'll save it for later. Actually, I'm also able to use it right now, just in case if the orb star comes into play. So at least assuming depending on the final results. So ooh, an 8. That seems like a good number to have. And yeah, I might as well pay 20 coins to get on with the chain jump with 2 dice blocks. So 7 and 7. Lucky 7s. Huh, not too shabby. Although mind you, it's the fact that it does not count to able to actually giving you the massive bonus reward. So that maybe seems the case. Alright, trying to flatten you, Daisy. And also I might as well land on another happening space too. So I'm now on 7 stars so far. Alright, it's time to able to grab some more coins. And all the while we need to avoid those gators, as you can see right here. So I believe if you dare touch them, basically you lose about, I would say 3 coins. Is it? Yeah, you lose 3 coins. So oh jeez, I forgot there's actually coin bags scattered around too. In fact, this minigame, or this particular mini-event, is kind of similar to the ones in Grand Canal, except rather than just trying to dodge those spiny eggshells, instead we have to avoid the gators and stuff like that. So yeah, that seems obvious. And Yoshi uses the egg orb, and sadly he gets a miserable 1. So that might be seems kind of like the worthless number to have, especially noticeable that we would like to see what that item can do, but unfortunately the dice block or the dice roll just screws him up tremendously. Oh well. Spinner Cell. I think we've already played this one before. Ever since in Grand Canal, that was the last time we played this, so... or something like any other boards for that matter, but I got to be honest here, I do apologize for the actual I do have some serious short-term memory loss sometimes, especially noticeable it has been about, you know, a week ago since I actually last played this, after the events of that long drawn-out, you know, Begonia Peak run-through, so... but then again, though, let's not point things out right about now, because we're on Pyramid Park now, so... and I'm quite surprised that we've almost at the halfway point as well, for the sake of the actual boards of Mario Party 7, before we move on to the extra stuff, mainly for like the minigames cruise mode, as well as the deluxe cruise, which I'll talk more about that soon, and eventually some other extras here now as well. So yeah, it seems like we're almost done with the boards in Mario Party 7 before we move on to the extras, so... Alright, so I believe we're now moved on to turn number 7, so yeah, I guess that's pretty much as far as I can mention about that. And Daisy's now going to use the snack orb, which she can able to actually use it by her own. And basically you can hold up to like a bone for about 3 turns, so yeah, that's basically what that does. So it looks like Daisy's now going to go to the other side, or the other section of the board, to, well, trying to dodge a lot of things, mainly for, like, not to get squished by anyone. And oh great, we got ourselves a Bowser space. Oh jeez. I know for the fact that it's been a while since we actually played a Bowser minigame since, well, Begonia Peak. But hopefully though, it won't drag on unlike, you know, Begonia Peak sometimes. But anyways, once again we're going for another multiplayer one, and if we all lose, we'll lose all of our coins, so we have to stay sharp on this. And we're going back to Thumbstickle course. I'm hoping the jump button will help me this time around, because last time it does not help me at all, ever since in Grand Canal board. But hopefully it will make it work this time. Alright, let's get this thing to it. I'm gonna have to concentrate for this point right about now, because obviously I'm a little bit worried about the forms of my jump delays and stuff like that, so, because again, that happened last time on Grand Canal, so there's no point for mentioning it to repeat that every time, but anyways, now to focus here. Not doing so bad anyway. It's just this part that I somehow got screwed over last time. Alright, there we go, that's more like it. But of course it's not over yet, because we have to avoid those spiky cylinder trap. And then after that though, the last section is the fact that we need to avoid the mini Bowser attacks, so... or Koopa Kid's attacks. And somehow these 3 computer players got screwed apart from me. So I somehow now finally claim my survival victoryness at long last. Although I will say, I will definitely prefer Thumbstickle Course and Magical Journey over a bit more than in forms of how it does it on Thunder War, because something about Thunder War, it just feels a bit unfair for me, because, well, not only because of the forms of the lock-on course, it gets all crazy sometimes and chaotic at the same time, but also I found out that the computer players always gets in your way sometimes. So, yeah, that's why I don't usually enjoy Thunder War as a minigame all that much anymore. Alright, so Boo gets a 5, so he's probably gonna land on either red space or blue space. Speaking of such, blue space. Then he lands on his own trap space. Alright, meanwhile for me, I got a glorious 9. So, I would like to go up there to try to stop Daisy, but because everyone else seemed to lose all of their coins at this rate, so it seems pointless to go up there. So instead of going up there, I think I should probably stick to the left, so that way I can meet up with the red chain jump again. So yeah, I think that begs the question for that. So what space I'm gonna land on? Actually, no matter what, yeah, I'll go to the left. It's pretty cool to be able to actually see that particular Mario sprite on that particular... ah, darn it, I got a red space. Oh well. Red space usually matters though, because obviously when red star comes into play, that it's mandatory if you really want to get the red star if possible. Although then again, the bonus stars will shuffle around every now and then depending on what board you go to. 7 and 9 makes 16. Almost a double lucky 7 star, which is almost awfully close, but anyway. So I get the feeling I might as well get Yoshi's coins until the next turn, because he's obviously right next to me at this point, so hopefully I should probably steal some money for him. Alright, 2 versus 2. Ah, we still have not played Bumper Crop yet. But we're going back into, once again, Hop-O-Matic 4000. Again, in this case, the longest minigame sometimes. Because, I swear to God, every time whenever I played this minigame on my own time, it just always takes about a minute to complete. Especially it's bad enough this is on 50Hz mode, as opposed to the usual 60, unlike the NTNC counterparts, so... But we have to stick with it, I'm afraid, so... So anyways, let's just go ahead and press the correct buttons, so... Although, I would like to mention about the forms of how in fact that another thing I wanted to discuss upon with the forms of Mario Kart Tour event, but I think I should probably let Maxi more able to mention more about it until when he goes back onto Super Mario 3D All-Stars for Super Mario 64 game, so... In fact, relatively speaking, is the fact that, well... Oh, I was trying to think of something here. Oh, actually, gonna think about it. That I believe that Sonic is pretty much almost done with Sonic Colors Ultimate for you know, modern consoles at this rate. Although so far that he's almost at the halfway point of the game already. So, and that's because of how the fact that, well, I have no words to say about this because, well, again, I would like to mention more discussions I want to make, but unfortunately, though, I don't think I can mention about any news-related stuff anytime soon. That's all God knows until next month, or March, or even April for that matter, but we'll just see. Alright, so it looks like Daisy's gonna go for that Mike space event, so maybe she might as well get able to get her coins back after the events of, well, Thumbstickle course, minigame for the Bowser Minigames department. So she bets on 7 coins as far as I can see. But will she succeed? Well, I suppose we'll find out. So in this case, she's probably gonna go for 3 cards, is it? Yeah, 3 cards. Alright, so strawberry, cherry, and grape. So will she get it? Well, we'll just sit back and watch. Well, so far so good anyway. Because I can totally see why that most computer players always prefers 3 cards as opposed to 5 cards, because relatively speaking, it is hard to able to get distracted sometimes for 5 cards or lesser than that. So, but luckily though, Daisy has managed to succeed. So, and she got about 14 coins. So, that maybe seems good for her. Alright, Boo, what are you gonna do? You got a 10. And I think that you don't have enough coins to able to ride on that chain jump yet. And, oh, a Toadie Orb. Okay. Totally fair for that part. And somehow Mini Bowser was there still, so, yeah, I'm gonna have to make my way to, Mini Bowser as soon as I possibly can. So, yeah, I can't use my Super Shroom Orb because I still have that Fireball Orb with me, so I think I need 5 or higher. 7 I'll take. So that should lead me to that red chain jump house. So yeah, I'm also spending my coins now. And also, I get 5 coins after like tossing a fireball at Yoshi, and lose 5 and another 5, so that makes a combination of 10. So speaking of 10, and 8, and 7 makes 25. That'll be the age I'm gonna be going for this year until in October. So that is in terms of age though. So anyway, let's just go ahead and go up there, which not only we can able to squish Mini Bowser for able to get my star back, but also squish Boo as well. So that makes us to 2 stars to get. Could imagine if I was trying to able to get like a 4 stars on that one particular chain jump ride. But close enough though. And also I just found out that unlike Mario Party 6, if you manage to able to get a star from someone, you do now have you got the star fanfare theme song in the background every time you get a star when you steal someone else's stars this time around. Unlike Mario Party 6, it just goes like the character victory animation, and that's pretty much about it. So, yeah, that's pretty much as far as I can say about it. So I get the feeling until the next turn, I think Yoshi might as well able to ride on that chain jump until the next turn, I think. But we'll see. Oh, a new minigame. Target Tag. Seems like a pretty fun minigame to go through. Fly into the floating targets to earn points. The player with the most points is the winner. This minigame feels a bit slightly similar to Hyper Sniper minigame from the likes of Mario Party 6, except the fact that it doesn't take place in a battle minigame, and also you don't need to worry about using the forms of the actual fake guns in order to be able to rank up points. So instead we are flying in the air while trying to able to get the actual target scores or the actual floating targets as much as you can. And also this minigame does remind me of a little bit from the likes of one of those minigames in Mario Party 8 called Surf's Way Up. That basically is kind of the same thing as this, except, well, it takes place into outer space as opposed to in the skies above, and also you're using motion controls as opposed to the GameCube controller. So, actually kind of thinking about it, maybe at some point on my own time, I will try to test it out with my Mario Party Superstars game if I play that on my own time. Just in case if I decide to practice that particular game, once we get into that Let's Play at some point at this year, if roughly, then I can able to try to test out with the GameCube controller functionality for, well, Mario Party Superstars. So, but I'll see what happens there. Alright, Daisy gets an 8, and she somehow got blown off from the Twister trap, and somehow she will get involved with that chain jump house down there. So, I think she's probably going to take 2 dice blocks. And let's see what number she'll get. 3 and a 1. That's a pretty poor number, but that might be enough for her to able to squish me. So, yeah, at least I did manage to lose one of my stars. Oh well, no big deal, but at least I'll get some of my stars back, so... But, you know, like I said before, it's just the fact that I'm still not a big fan of the actual board mechanic of the actual board, because, well, again, very similar to the forms of how it does it on Mario Party 6 in Snowflake Lake, that there's not much else to it, aside from the fact that with the different environments, and that's pretty much about it. But I will say that, like I said, that Pyramid Park is actually a little bit more interesting and intriguing at the same time, in comparison to, well, Snowflake Lake. Although, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the actual environment for Snowflake Lake as it is, but as far as the forms of the second entry with the star-stealing boards, out of the 3, I think, yeah, that's pretty much as far as I can say about it. It's just basically the star-stealing board part 2, because whenever we get into Mario Party 8, then there was actually that one particular board that also involves around star stealing as well, but it actually functions a little bit slightly different. But then again, we'll point it out whenever we get to Mario Party 8. So it looks like I got ourselves 6 and 9 makes 15. So I think that might be enough for me to be able to not only steal Boo's star, but also Daisy's star as well. Although keep that in mind though, is the fact that we still need to watch out for the consideration for the Bowser Time event, for the sake of likely stealing the first place star. So, since I've now got 10 stars, so I feel like I'm basically dominated it for the most part. Alright, what's Yoshi gonna do? Although he's probably not gonna ride on that red chain jump because he was off by 7 coins by able to actually spending on it. And he's gonna go for a mic event space, so... Excuse me, I got something on my throat there, I do apologize for that. And he bets on 2 coins, so will he ever succeed? Well, I suppose we'll find out as well. So, again, there's not much else I can talk about, sadly, because other than the fact that, well, I would still like to mention about the forms of more infos. Oh yeah, I just forgot about something, that recently I found out that the LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog exists for the sake of the forms of the LEGO Ideas category, which I would say, from the actual trailer itself, it does look pretty cool, especially noticeable about the fact that it shows us about the fact that what the LEGO set actually contains with, Like, for example, the actual zone itself takes place in Green Hill Zone, the most iconic level in the entirety of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. And, also they have 7 Chaos Symbols as on the display, and Sonic himself, and even the actual buildable Dr. Robotnik, and also some familiar Badniks, and some rings, and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's actually interesting. Alright, a new minigame, Balloonatic. Seems like a pretty interesting minigame. One player flies a hot air balloon and tries to dodge incoming fire. The other 3 attempt to bring him down. Or her, depending on what specific players they'll go for, so... this minigame does remind me of something very similar minigame from the likes of Mario Party 9, called Blooper Borage. They accept the fact, rather than trying to deal with the boss fight, so instead we have to take down the solo player. So I believe you have to take down like 3 balloons, so yeah, that's pretty much how this minigame works. So it feels like I'm having ourselves a really good shot with this particular cannonball shot, because basically I'm pretty much an expert when it comes to timing. So there goes Yoshi's swimming by, while the other 3 players just managed able to claim victoryness. Although I'm feeling incredibly bad for Yoshi not to swim on the water, which it does remind me of a throwback of Super Mario Sunshine or something like that. Alright, I believe we're on turn number 10, so things gets a little bit more relevant at this point, So, yeah, Daisy gets the blue space, so nothing predictably that's interesting, but it knows what it is. And it looks like Boo is going to use his snack orb, so just in case for the extra amount of protection, so just in case he doesn't get squished by chain jumps, by stealing a star and stuff. And I just realized that that Goomba over there on the item shop somehow got the Platinum GameCube console. That's actually a pretty cool touch. But anyway, I've got a lame one. No matter what though, I'm gonna stick up here. I'll go up here just in case I don't get involved, but able to actually not to get squished by the oh dear. Everyone else seems to be able to get low numbers for that turn. And it looks like Yoshi's able to get his coin taken from Boo from the spirit guy. So mind you, there's only 1 coin that he obviously gets taken. So yeah, that seems not much. Alright, I believe we are doing another 4-player minigame, I'm pretty sure. Yep, we do. Oh, come on, catchy tunes, catchy tunes. Oh, so close! In fact, though, we've almost nearly at the end of the 4-player minigames for that roulette thing. Like, I think we're missing on, is Catchy Tunes, like you saw. And another one is Fun Run. And I believe the last one is Cartwheeled, if I was assuming correctly. So, yeah, we have to go for, coin changes again. So, and let's see how many coins I might as well get. Feels like I'm doing not too bad, except getting 0, so that's kind of pointless. And another 0. Oh, jeez. But at least I got 11 at the end. So at least I'll take 11 coins. That's totally fine by me. But hey, at least I can able to actually get some more coins to, God knows, get the minigame store or something like that.